Big League Chew, Bubble Jug, Bubbletape, Slimer Bubblegum. We're taking a look at the crazy bubblegum world that is Amurol. So let's go!
Go hard or go home. You are listening to Industrial Industries World Radio with your host, the ultimate party DJ, DJ Glowing Ice, for an episode of Industrial Industries World Radio. Show me what you got, DJ.
Hey everybody, homies, foxy mamas. Hope you're having a great day. Hope this audio is meeting you well and in good health in these trying times. And you're probably finding yourself very bored. So I'm going to try to alleviate a little bit of that by talking about a company that would seem like, why would I care? Who? Amurol? What? Amurol? What is this? Yeah, Amurol? Is that stuff you spray on the car and then you wipe off? No. What Amurol is a company, a bubblegum company that specialized in making novelty gum. Now, why did I get into this subject in the first place and care to research it? Well, they made Bubble Jug. They made Bubbletape. They made plenty of things that I know people my age and even younger and older have tried at one point in their life. And I feel like any product or something that has made any amount of significance or memory in your life, even though it's a very vacant up in the attics of your brain memory, it's still significant enough to talk about and go over and figure out the story of where this began. Like, how did the idea of taking strips of bubblegum and putting it in a pouch and pretending that it's chewing tobacco? You know, there's a lot of these questions that you kind of want to figure it out. And the biggest thing that got me into looking into Amurol was Slimer Bubblegum. I think, like, Ghostbusters was over by the time I was, like, 4 or 5. But there was, like, the residual, like, cartoon series, the real Ghostbusters and all that. And I remember very vaguely having Slimer Bubblegum. It came in this tube that was like toothpaste. Yeah, we'll explain all about it. This is episode 24 of Industrial Industries World Radio. I'm DJ Glowing Ice, and we'll get into everything about Amurol. But first, here's past, present, future.
Past, present,
future. Today is March 30th, and it's National Virtual Vacation Day. So don't pack a bag, don't blow thousands of dollars on a trip that's gonna feel like work anyways. Get online and visit some museums virtual reality style. You know, I was actually in a museum in Amsterdam the other day. Yeah, that's right, look at me, I'm Mr. Culture over here. In the past, on this day in 1867, Alaska is purchased from Russia for $7.2 million. And presently, I could so go for like tacos, bro. As the forecast calls for partly cloudy skies with a high of 64 in the small town region. And in the future, in 2023, Super Nintendo World in Orlando, Florida will be ready for its grand opening. March 30th is the 90th day of the year, and there are 276 days left for the year 2020. Celebrity birthdays, we've got guitarist and songwriter Eric Clapton, who is 75. Singer and songwriter Celine Dion is 52, and actor Warren Beatty, known for playing Dick Tracy, is 83. And I'd like to wish my good friend Jessica from the podcast Life of a Sicko a very happy birthday week. Have a great one. And if it's your birthday, I want to wish you personally a very, very happy birthday and spend it the best way you can. And this past, present, and future is brought to you by Gacy's Small Engine Repair. Located on Locust Street, right here in small town USA, spring is here and so is grass cutting season. So bring that lawnmower that you've been nursing for years on over to Gacy's Small Engine Repair to make that lump of junk run like brand new. With same-day express repairs and money under the table pricing, it's Gacy's Small Engine Repair, where small engine fixes make a big difference. Industrial Industries World Radio. Okay, so how we're gonna tackle the wild and crazy bubblegum world of Amurol is piece by piece, just like bubblegum. So first off, we're gonna talk about the history of the company itself. Then we're gonna be going on to, over the years, all the wild and crazy and just unique bubblegum products that they came out with. And then we're gonna look into a few Amurol products that I remember having as a kid. As a collector, I recently got all of these gum products still in the package on my collector shelf. And we're going to take a deep dive and look at all these packages, see what they say, see what they're all about. Then we have activity time, and we're going to check out to see if Bubbletape is actually 6 feet long. We're going to put it to the test. And then we have a 10 list of the weirdest bubblegum flavors ever. So we have a lot of fun ahead, and let's just give a briefing over Amurol. You know, it was modernly known as the quiet little subsidiary company bought by Wrigley Gum. And Amurol from, I want to say, the early 80s up until now is known for its novelty bubblegum. You know, it was known for Big League Chew, Ouch Bubblegum, the Bubble Beeper, you know, all that kind of weird gum that came out in the 90s. They're responsible for most of it. And beyond the novelty bubblegum, beyond the bubble beepers and the bubble jugs, Amurol was quite a different company. So let's go and dig into the very, very beginning of Amurol Products Company. So the timeline for Amurol Products Company starts in 1948. It's founded by a dentist, Dr. Bruno Petrulis, from Naperville, Illinois, which Naperville is a suburb of Chicago, Illinois. And the name Amurol comes from the first two letters of three words of their ingredients, which AM in ammonia, which is used to prevent cavities and tooth decay. UR in urea, which is used for whitening teeth, and OL in oral, which means taken orally. So there we have the name of the company, Amurol. Amurol started out by selling ammoniated tooth powder formulated by University of Illinois scientists. And among the tooth powder, they also sold toothpaste products as well. Now you may be wondering, what is tooth powder? Where did that come from? Well, tooth powder was actually very popular in the early to mid-1900s before toothpaste became the more normal and easier and convenient way of dental hygiene. Tooth powder was just, harder to deal with when it came to the ritual of just cleaning your teeth daily. But there's a lot of great benefits to tooth powder as it's made of natural and organic ingredients, and it's more effective at removing plaque than toothpaste. And another benefit to tooth powder is that it's non-toxic as it doesn't contain fluoride. So like I said though, tooth powder kind of went away and toothpaste became the new thing. And Amurol, they did put out toothpaste, ammoniated toothpaste as well. And throughout Amurol's first 10 years of business, Dr. Petrulis, he developed the first sugar-free chewing gum with ammonia. It combated acids in the mouth that led to tooth decay. So as the sugar-free gum became more and more popular, it caught the attention of Wrigley Gum Company, which Wrigley Gum Company is famous for its spearmint, double mint, and juicy fruit flavors of chewing gum. In 1958, Amurol is bought up and becomes a subsidiary of the Wrigley Company. After the buyout, Amurol continued to produce non-sugar and dietetic gums, other special non-sugar products, and they were also in charge of doing research to do future products as well. During the late 60s, Amurol made the first sugar-free bubblegum. It was aimed for kids, called Whammo, and after a few years of the name not sticking well, they switched it up and had the genius idea of changing it from Whammo to Blammo. Now, this simple name change made all the difference as Blammo became very popular with the kids, and it spanned all kinds of different flavors and variations. But by the end of the 1970s, Blammo just kinda disappeared. Amurol's just kinda schlepping along, and meanwhile, away from Amurol's doors, comes along Rob Nelson, a pitcher for an independent baseball team, the Portland Mavericks, and a bat boy from the team, Todd Field, had a gum that was inspired from being around baseball all the time. It all started a couple of years prior in 1977. Nelson saw the bat boy, Todd Field, eating chopped up licorice out of a bag, imitating chewing tobacco that he saw all the other ball players doing. He wanted to look cool in front of the ball players. Nelson, seeing this, it made him talk to another fellow ball player, Jim Bouton, and they got to talking. They were saying, yeah, I never liked chewing tobacco anyways, and it's not for me. This made Nelson say to Bouton, hey, what if, I chopped up bubble gum and put it in a pouch, we could eat it and pretend to look cool and have some fun with it. They carried on the conversation as they played more in the game, and Bouton turns to Nelson and says, I really like that idea. I mean, what would we call it? Nelson said, I don't know. Big League Chew? And so with that, Nelson and Bouton shook hands, and Nelson was lended $10,000 to start making prototypes for the gum. In early 1979, Nelson read an article about a make-your-own bubblegum company from Texas, and he wound up buying a case of this make-your-own bubblegum. And to finish his experiment, he went to the supermarket and he went around, he bought maple and root beer flavor extracts. Nelson, being an on-the-road baseball player, he didn't have much of a kitchen to create and bake the gum. So he went to the bat boy Todd Fields' house and asked Fields' mom if he could use their kitchen to bake and make this gum. And on February 6th, 1979, the first batch of Big League Chew was created. The first batch of Big League Chew came out looking brown, just like the color of chewing tobacco, and it was cut into super thin strips with a pizza cutter. And with the hired talents of illustrator Bill Mayer, Bill made illustrations on the outside of each pouch of Big League Chew, which were all these scruffy-looking baseball players who would smoke and drink while out on the field. A real kind of caricature, humorous take on baseball players for the gum. Hitting the streets, Nelson went door to door shopping Big League Chew to companies until he came across a small little part of Wrigley known as Amurol Products. Wrigley, being then the owners of the Chicago Cubs baseball team, it rubbed them the right way as it was a baseball-oriented kind of gum, and Amurol thought it would be a good idea to start selling. So now we're in the year 1980, specifically in the month of May, and Amurol introduced Big League Chew, and it went on to sell $18 million worth of gum that very first year. So it was a success right off the bat, no pun intended. Big League Chew went on to become the Hall of Fame bubblegum, and it's still sold today in all kinds of flavors, such as Outta Here Original Bubblegum, Swingin' Sour Apple, Ground Ball Grape, Curveball Cotton Candy, and Wild Pitch Watermelon. So with the success of Big League Chew, Amurol started shifting its focus from sugar-free and dental kind of gum to more of a novelty type of gum maker. So starting in the rad 80s, Amurol started the Candy Tasters Club, where 10 children per day from the Naperville, Illinois area were selected to come into the facility to give their opinions on gum and other candies Amurol had in the prototype stage. And each member of the Candy Tasters Club, after giving 10 minutes of their opinions and their time, they would be given a bag of gum, candy, and prizes in the form of payment. A lot of kids who were in the Candy Tasters Club really enjoyed it, and one girl said, quote, "It's neat to be in here." Another stated, "I like looking at the candy and tasting the flavors." And another kid said, "When I see it at the store, I think, that's the candy I tested. Sometimes when I have enough money, I buy it." From the one-story tan brick building nestled in a quiet residential neighborhood that was Amurol headquarters, the sweet scents of bubblegum would emanate throughout the town, and people of Naperville at the time, they always said they enjoyed all the smells, especially when grape-flavored bubblegum was being made. And so now we're in 1982, and this is something I came across. It's part of history. I want to say it's a part of history, and a lot of people really have no idea what this thing even was or is. But there was a thing in 1982 that Amurol put out, but I guess it was like just an experiment to expand the Big League Chew name. So what did they come up with? They came up with the Big League Plug. And the Big League Plug is a chewy, chocolatey candy bar that you would chew a piece off of, put it back in its foil wrapper, and chew on it again later. And apparently this chocolate bar would never melt in your pocket. And the pouch itself looked like a Big League Chew pouch. Had a baseball player that was rather grotesque looking, chewing a piece of Big League Plug off. And the whole package was brown. The background, all that was brown. It was in the shape of a rectangle or like a bar of soap, and it had the consistency of a brownie and tasted a bit like a Tootsie Roll. After it failed commercially, Wrigley pulled the plug on Big League Plug, and it was considered a complete flop. Scroll past a few years and we're at 1988. Bubbletape is introduced with awesome original flavor. Bubbletape came in a plastic container in the shape of a hockey puck, and it was in the form of a roll of tape, and the packaging prided itself to be 6 feet of bubblegum. Bubbletape went on to become Amurol's top seller and was such a huge hit for Amurol that it was ranked 12th out of 107 brands in sales of gum overall, bringing $15.8 million in the 12-month period between July 1989 to July 1990. 1992, Ouch Bubblegum, the Band-Aid wrapper sticks of gum in a Band-Aid styled tin, first became available. 1993, Bubble Jug, a little plastic jug with a handle representing a juice jug filled with powder crystals and bubblegum chunks. And as you pour the powder and chunks into your mouth and chew on it, it would turn into bubblegum altogether. And the original flavors were tropical fruit, watermelon punch, and Caribbean blend. And in 1994, with Amurol Products Company being such a huge success with Bubbletape and everything else in the past couple of years, they're pulling in $150 million annually. Wrigley wanted to boost production of Amurol products and revamped the company and renamed it Amurol Confections. So along with this rename, a new logo was made, and after 46 years, Amurol moves from its hometown of Naperville to its new location 55 miles outside of Chicago in Yorkville, Illinois. This facility for Amurol would boost production by 30%, which led to even more fun novelty ideas for bubblegum. With this focused philosophy of novelty in mind, Amurol Confections bore the slogan, "Innovation in Kids' Confections." In 1998, Amurol teamed up with Pez to bring gum dispensers in the form of all kinds of different animals serving as the dispensers, from Curly the pig to Zippy the dog. The line was referred to as Pez Pets, featuring Amurol bubblegum. Also in 1998, Amurol attempted to get a hold of a niche market they called functional gum, and they made Stay Alert. It was a caffeinated supplement chewing gum. One stick of gum was the equivalent of a cup of coffee, and the label read to not have over 4 sticks within 3 to 4 hours. Stay Alert hit the market in late 1998 with 2 flavors, mint and cinnamon. After this, Amurol continued to make gum products and new things here and there, but they didn't really get a foothold into anything else after that, and they kind of just blurred and dissolved, and a lot of questions came up as to whatever happened to them. So a reason I think Amurol just kind of disappeared into the 2000s was the 2008 buyout when Wrigley was bought out by Mars Incorporated. And a lot of times subsidiaries of companies that are bought out kind of just get trashed or dissolved. So that's probably where the end of Amurol is, when the buyout happened in 2008. But when you search for Amurol Confections and try to find any contact information, you can still find an address located in Yorkville, Illinois, and their website, which was bubblegum.com. And whenever you go to bubblegum.com, it redirects you to mars.com. So that kind of answers a lot of questions right there. And whenever you look for it in Google Maps and Street View, you can see the building there, the entire facility. And out front, there's a sign that says Mars Wrigley, and they have a kind of like a flagpole, and you see little banners of Double Mint and Skittles on there. So it's still there, but Amurol as a thing, I feel, has come to pass. But I did some reporting. I found a phone number to the address, and I called it. And an automated voice came on and asked for an extension code, mentioned it was Wrigley's and all that. So I pressed 0, and it went to a guy answering the phone. And he goes, "Security." I said, "Hi, I'm doing a podcast on Amurol gum. And this is the last known place where Amurol was. Is it still a thing, or what's going on?" The guy replies to me, "I have no idea what you're talking about, sir." And I said, "Oh, well, I know it's kind of a weird request. I was just wondering." And then he was like, "Well, I'll send you to my manager." The manager answers, "Hello? Yeah, hi. I'm doing a podcast episode on Amurol Confections, and I'm just wanting to know, in your facility, does Amurol even exist, or what's the shape of it right now?" She goes and says, "Amurol? No, I haven't heard about that unless it was bought out in 2008, but yeah, it ain't here anymore." So that basically answers the question that she can't find on Google or anything else. Amurol got dissolved basically during the buyout, like I thought. Digging through things of what I could find, the last existence of Amurol being a business was trademarks being filed in June of 2003, and looking at the trademark registrations for them, they were abandoned the next year in 2004. So since Amurol is gone, you're kind of saying, hey, I see Bubbletape, I see Big League Chew out there. Amurol still has to exist, right? No. Hubba Bubba, the bubblegum brand, kind of took that over, which is still owned by Wrigley Gum, or Mars if you want to get the big cheese corporate going. But, yeah, that's where Amurol kind of ends. Even though Amurol products may be under a different name now, you can still celebrate its spirit by chewing Bubbletape, Ouch Bubblegum, Big League Chew, and just know that none of these would have existed without Amurol. Okay, everybody. Now that we got the history of Amurol out of the way, we are going to get into their products. Now, little pop quiz. What did Amurol specialize in? Right, that's right, novelty gum. So we're starting from 1980 up until they kind of just went away. And we're going to go through the years. We're not going to list every single gum. or product that they had out. But we're just going to hit some of the highlights, and we're going to go through every single year of whatever they put out that seemed to pique my interest at least, or the public at large, with products that were very successful. So, okay, we're going to start off with 1980, which we went over this. This was Big League Chew. In 1981, they had this thing called Chew Bops, which were album covers from real artists, real bands at the time that are really poppin', and, you know, Winger, Duran Duran. But yeah, Chew Bops, they came in a 3-inch by 3-inch mocked up little album cover, and inside was a little disc of bubblegum in the shape of a record. 1982 came with the comic book characters, the Fantastic Four gum, and each pouch contained 100 bubblegum chunks of 4 different flavors, from strawberry, orange, grape, and watermelon. So there are 4 flavors because of 4 people in the Fantastic Four. Makes sense. Okay. 1983 came A&W Root Beer Bubblegum that featured a root beer liquid center, which sounds really good. Also, along with the A&W, there's a whole soda line of gum. So all these gum chunks had liquid centers of different flavors of soda. So they have flavors like RC Cola, Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, and Cherry 7-Up as well. We also have the Taco Bubblegum, which literally looked like tacos. 3 to a package. It had a tannish kind of bubblegum shell with strips of green bubblegum inside representing lettuce. And there you go, bubblegum taco. 1984, there was a Mr. T's gold chain made out of bubblegum, so you could walk around, look fly, chew on your bubblegum gold chain. And then we also had the famous chicken bubblegum. It was inspired by the San Diego chicken, and it was a pouch of chicken-shaped pieces of bubblegum. 1985, Rambo from the Sylvester Stallone movie had a line of gum called Rambo Black Raspberry flavored bubblegum. It featured Rambo on the front of the package shooting a machine gun with his shirt off. Pretty cool. 1986, Big League Chew rolled out a cherry cola flavor of its bubblegum. 1987, the Slush Puppy line of slushy drinks got a gum line featuring the dog mascot on the packaging, with the bubblegum in the shape of paw prints in 5 different colors, featuring 5 flavors such as cherry, grape, blue raspberry, lemon lime, and orange. 1988, we covered this, Bubbletape is introduced. And also in this year, Domino's Pizza Bubblegum. It was a pizza-shaped gum, and it came in a little Domino's pizza box as well. And the gum was fruit-flavored, and it contained 40 pieces of gum in the form of little pizza slices. And it had to be extremely thin, these slices of pizza gum, because considering the weight of the package, it was less than an ounce. Then, along with their Domino's team-up, Amurol also made a gum for the Domino's mascot at the time, with the Noid Tart and Fruity Gumballs. 1989, such a great year. The real Ghostbusters Slimer Bubblegum came out, and the gum came in a tube like toothpaste, and you'd squirt some of this green goo Slimer gum into your mouth, and as you roll and chew it in your mouth, it would turn into gum. And also next to the Slimer gum came another flavor of real Ghostbusters gum called Ectoplasm, which was grape flavored. Strawberry and grape flavors were added to the Bubbletape line. And then we get into the 90s. So throughout the 90s, they were even more crazier with their novelty gum. And they made bubblegum based on the hit cartoon show The Simpsons in the form of traditional bubblegum and flavored fruit punch gum in a tube. And also the flavors spearmint, cinnamon, and fruit were added to the Bubbletape line. 1991, Amurol hit home for the cool teenage kids with bubblegum folders, which these folders looked like the typical folders kids would take to school, only smaller, and they contained 24 sticks of gum that would be in both flaps inside of the folder. The designs on these folders ranged from the cast of the Beverly Hills 90210 TV show, to Paula Abdul, and Garfield the Cat. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fruit-flavored tarts came out in its green plastic hockey puck-shaped container featuring Raphael on the front. We also have Snakebite gum. This gum, going by the flavor of Boa Berry, was a tubed gum, where at the opposite end of the cap was a plastic peg with an Explorer man's head sticking out the top. And as you chew the gum, you'd roll the man up the tube, giving it the look that a snake was wrapping around him. And we close out 1991 with the Fluffy brand Bubblegum Cotton Candy Bubblegum. It came in a packet, and it started out as cotton candy, but as you eat it and chew it, it would turn into bubblegum. Magic. 1992, the Squeeze Pop, a fruit-flavored gel that came in a clear tube described as liquid lollipop or squeeze and lick lollipop, with flavors such as cherry, watermelon, and blue raspberry. Like we talked about before, we've got Ouch Bubblegum. Then there was the Bubble Beeper, which was a plastic container in the shape of a beeper you could clip onto your belt. Then you could walk around looking like the coolest kid ever, dude. And it contained 17 sticks of original flavored bubble gum. And the wrappers on these sticks had all kinds of different messages saying from, call me or whatever you could think of. Whatever someone would beep somebody. I never owned a beeper. I don't know. We close up 1992 with Bungee Bubblegum, which was a tubed gum, and it was like a Slimer or the ectoplasm gum, but this gum featured a man bungee jumping on the tube, with his shoes being the cap for the gum and a little elastic band attached to his feet. 1993, of course, we had Bubble Jug out, and a candy-like version of Bubble Jug without gum came out called Cookies and Cream Candy Jug, that you would consume it the way you would do a bubble gum, but you could obviously eat it as it wasn't gum. Teaming up with the video game company Nintendo, they made the Game Boy Bubblegum, which also included trading cards, and the plastic container was smaller, and it was in the shape of a Game Boy, which opened at the top, and it would include 4 trading cards out of a 14-card collection, and these cards featured Gamebox artwork of Nintendo Game Boy games. The Game Boy containers came in a variety of colors from green, pink, yellow, and the original beige color. Closing up 1993, we have the Cellular Bubblegum. It was a plastic container in the shape of a cell phone, obviously, and it came in clear red or black, and it contained 10 rolls of bubblegum in foil wrapping, and you opened it from the bottom. 1994, we have the CD player bubblegum in a little black 1 1/4 ounce container of gum in the shape of obviously a CD deck, and it contained 8 bubblegum discs. Then starting the kids early, we have the checkbook bubblegum because, it was every kid's dream apparently to eat checks, as this gum came in a plastic book looking like a checkbook. And these checkbooks had your typical multicolored 90s wacky style and look to them, all kinds of crazy colors. And it had 2 large sleeves of gum with edible print on them. And these sleeves of gum obviously looked like checks. And they put some humor with these checks, as the checks were printed out saying it would be paid to the order of I Am Rich. And the signature read, Bo Gus Books. Really clever there. 1995, Amurol went hardcore as they released the Super Active Bubblegum line. They released 3 different products with this. One was Grow Gum, to where a piece of gum would double in its size whenever you chew it. We have the Blow and Throw, where you could blow a bubblegum bubble and it wouldn't pop as soon as you touch it, to where you could seal it off and then throw it at somebody as a prank. And then the third of the super active gum line was Loud Bubblegum, which was a gum that would make a pop really, really super loud. Then we have the Bubble Locker, which was a tin in the shape of a locker, which contained 17 sticks of gum, kind of like Ouch Bubblegum as well. Then a larger version of Bubbletape came out called the Mega Roll, We got the Bubble Calculator. That was a real calculator that included gum. The Bubblegum slot machine called Bubble Jackpot featured pellets of gum of 3 different flavors, representing the reels on a slot machine. Then the Squeeze Pop had a new line of candy out called Aquarium Candy, which was a plastic pouch with illustrated fish in an aquarium setting with blue raspberry candy gel inside. Moving on to 1996, we've got Paint Box Bubblegum, where you had a little plastic carton of gumballs with 5 colors of edible paint, along with a paintbrush to color your own bubblegum. Then we have Speeding Ticket Bubblegum, which was just a sheet of gum with printing on it, saying you've been bad, you've been speeding. There's the Bubblegum Express credit card gum, where the credit card number spelled out, "Do not chew gum without it," which was a play on the American Express credit card slogan. And then in late 1996, the children's television network Nickelodeon hit its stride in having its biggest ratings ever. And so the children's network set out to expand its brand with food and candy. So they started turning to Amurol. So by 1997, Amurol announced it was rolling out gum inspired from Nickelodeon and its characters. So this first line of gum from Nickelodeon consisted of Green Slime Bubblegum, Chewology Bubblegum Lab, and Real Monsters Bubblegum. The packaging of all 3 had its own distinct shape, but had a color theme of purple with it and the orange Nickelodeon blob logo on it. And then, closing out the holidays for 1997, they had a paint your own bubblegum ornament. And this ornament was like a flat circle fruit-flavored bubblegum with reindeer designed on it, and also were included 4 colors of paint, along with a paintbrush, as it was inside of a resealable case that was able to be hung on your Christmas tree. 1998, we got the Pez Pets and Stay Alert gum. Then we got Everest Powerful Mint gum that came in something like an Altoids tin. It had a mountain on it. And a new extreme line of Bubbletape was introduced in silver plastic containers. They had 3 extreme flavors, such as Extreme Fruit Raspberry, Extreme Freeze Cherry, and Extreme Sour Lemon Lime. 1999, Stamped Bubbles Bubblegum. It was much like a paint-your-own bubblegum, but you had edible stamping ink. You could stamp on your piece of bubblegum and then eat it afterwards, so there you go with that. 2000 saw a new flavor in the Bubble Jug line, which was Orange Crush Soda flavored. 2001, from the kids' TV show Butt Ugly Martians, Amurol made candy tarts packaged in a pouch themed around the show, which were in both sweet and sour flavors like cherry, lemon, and watermelon. 2002 saw Bubbletape adding 4 new flavors to its lineup, such as Juicy Fruit, Sour Watermelon, Pink Lemonade, and Cotton Candy. Then Big League Chew adding some Sour Cherry and Sour Apple to their flavors. And then we have Dragon Fire Bubblegum, a hot cinnamon, sugar-free gum packaged in a round red tin. Then 2003 was the last year that we really saw anything from Amurol, which was the Bubbletape Extreme line. 1 more flavor was added, which was Extreme Sweet Cotton Candy. And then the gum Amurol used to make a lot of their gum products, Hubba Bubba, they released the Hubba Bubba Sweet Roll, which was a flavored roll of bubble gum with a soft candy center with flavors such as Strawberry Surge and Watermelon Water Slide. So that's just a nice little overview of what Amurol put out in 23 years. But there's a whole lot more. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Alright, that about wraps that up. Now, let's move on to activity time because I've got a roll of bubble tape that we need to experiment with. Hi guys, and welcome to another fun activity time here on IIWR. So what you'll need for this activity time is a roll of bubble tape and a tape measure. what we're doing is we're looking at if Bubbletape actually has 6 feet to it. Because it claims 6 feet of fun on the package. It's always claimed that it's 6 feet of bubblegum. So we're going to put it to the test and see if they're lying. And whenever I picked up this Bubbletape at the local gas station, the whole box of Bubbletape was at the bottom shelf and it was collecting dust. So Bubbletape, I don't think, is that big and popular of a brand anymore. But it's still made. You could pick one up anywhere. Gas station. Your local grocer. So we're just gonna open that up. Oh, the other side too. That would help. So there we go. Nice roll of bubblegum. Nice and powdery. Here's some ASMR for you guys. Don't want to bite into it too much. Okay, let's clear the activity table and get our tape measure out. And we are gonna just roll this out. So, got a little piece of tape here. We're gonna put the end of this on. So here we go. See that? Let's drop that down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we are right there. Okay. All right. That's not going anywhere. So here we go. Let's see. Okay, so where are we at now? Let's get that right there. Here we are. So right there is 6 feet. The results. Boom. Look at that. It is way past 6 feet. It is almost, that piece broke off, but it ends about 6.5 feet. So, Bubbletape, they ain't lying. It's at least 6 feet, but more. So there you have it, guys. Bubbletape isn't lying. There is some truth out there when it comes to companies being good on their word. Oh, now it's breaking apart. So there you have it, guys. Bubbletape is at least 6 feet and more. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you later on the next Activity Time. Activity Time. Yo, what it do? This is Toy Box, and today we are looking at a few Amurol bubblegum products that they made in the 80s and 90s. And why am I calling them toys? Well, everything has an expiration date, and given a couple decades now, or almost 3 decades, I'm sure that you shouldn't be eating them and just treat them as collectibles now. So, first off, we're going to be looking at the real Ghostbusters line of bubblegum by Amurol. And 2 products from this line, we have the Slimer bubblegum and the Ectoplasm bubblegum. And they were for the promotion of the real Ghostbusters cartoon show in 1989. This was also around the time when the movie Ghostbusters 2 was also around. So we had a double whammy promotion with this gum. Both flavors came in a 1.6 ounce plastic tube, which you could easily mistake for toothpaste, especially when around the same time there was a line of Slimer toothpastes a few aisles down in the store. And taking a look at the tube of Slimer bubblegum, the flavor was just that of original bubblegum, and it would squeeze out in a green gel form, and you'd chew it and it would gunk up until it became the same texture as bubblegum. And when you opened the tube up for the first time, it had a little wax paper covering the whole of the tube for that little extra protection. Checking out the graphics on the tube of Slimer bubblegum itself, it has a blue background, says the real Ghostbusters on the top. Then to the left of the tube there is a little Ghostbusters logo. And to the right by the cap where you'd open up the gum, has Slimer. Really high detail drawing. He has his mouth open, his tongue sticking out, and his arms and hands up like he's Great Cornholio from Beavis and Butthead. And on the center of the tube it says Slimer. And then on the back, it's basically the same graphic with the ingredients and a little UPC. So that's what Slimer bubblegum pretty much looks like. Now, the other legitimate flavor to the real Ghostbusters line of bubblegum is ectoplasm bubblegum. There was no confusing this. This was grape-flavored bubblegum, as it said, and it's a pink and purple tubed background. It says ectoplasm in the font, based on the ectoplasm slime toys that came out for the Kenner line of real Ghostbusters toys. It has a little monster to the left side of the tube, and it says at the very bottom of the tube, proof of a ghostly encounter. And that is ectoplasm bubblegum. So ectoplasm bubblegum was basically the same concept as Slimer bubblegum, but it was just grape flavor. Now, me being a collector, I flagged down both Slimer bubblegum and ectoplasm bubblegum, still fresh in the tube, uneaten, unused, basically. And I scoured the internet for a couple years to find both tubes. It was just something that popped up in my memory that I totally forgot about since I was like 4 or 5 years old. And I just remember loving this stuff as a kid. Now, I was searching as much as I could to try to find any kind of information out there, and the pricing for this gum, written on a display box, was $1.29. So that's how much these sold for back in the day. And speaking of the Slimer bubblegum display box, I found it on eBay. It was the only one that I've seen pictures of anywhere online, and I wound up winning it. And on the back of the box of like the reorder information and all that, the flavor for Slimer bubblegum is described as fruit punch. So that kind of got me really kind of thrown out of whack, thinking, okay, is my memory serving me right? Did it taste like fruit punch? Because I remember it tasted like bubblegum flavor. So a couple days I'm just thinking about this, and I'm thinking, well, maybe bubblegum flavor is fruit punch flavor as well, because the flavor of bubblegum is a combination of all kinds of different flavors of fruits. So I turned to a group on Facebook that was like big Ghostbuster fans. So I got in the group and I asked this question to these guys, and all they could really say is they vaguely even remembered the gum. So that's when I went to my last resort and I emailed Wrigley Gum. Were there 2 flavors of Slimer gum or just one and it was fruit punch? I get an email back a couple days later and they say, we can't really answer your question over email, but you could call us. So I give them a call, and the lady tells me, get this, there were actually 2 flavors of Slimer bubblegum. There was just never anything labeled to tell the difference between the 2. So with my deep, hard-hitting journalism, I found out that there are actually 2 flavors of Slimer bubblegum, but you could only tell which flavor you were getting by reading the back of the display box. So there we go, the burning question is now put to rest. And that is the real Ghostbusters bubblegum tube line made by Amurol. Moving on now, we have the Nickelodeon bubblegum line from 1997. And we have 3 different products to take a look at here, which were Real Monsters bubblegum, Chewology Bubblegum Lab, and Green Slime Bubblegum. According to a press release from 1997, it says the Amurol line includes Green Slime Chewing Gum, Chewology Bubblegum Lab, and Real Monsters Bubblegum. Green slime gum consists of large green pellets that produce slime when chewed, and the products come in elaborate packaging with neon-colored graphics. The vice president of marketing from Amurol said, quote, "We made the Nickelodeon stuff really interactive, using packaging and graphics so it looks like a wild experience for kids." These 3 bubblegum products also included a coupon on the back of each package to purchase some kind of Nickelodeon toy produced by Mattel. So starting with my least favorite product from this line, we have the Real Monsters bubblegum. And it features shapes of the characters from the show Ickis, Crumb, and Oblina. And each character is a different flavor with fruit and grape and cherry. And the 3D pressed bubblegum basically looks like Flintstone vitamins. That's what they look like. Very chalky. They come in colors of purple, pink, and like a bluish green. You look on the back, and it has a coupon to save 50 cents on any Floam or Mega Bump Floam from Nickelodeon. I never had the Real Monsters gum, nor did I care to get it anyways. Next up, we have the green slime bubblegum. Taking a closer look, it says on the front of the box, "Take the green slime challenge. Can you make it through the slimy chew?" And it has a big old mouth with its tongue sticking out, and inside the tongue is a little plastic window. You can see the gum inside of it. And also on the front here, it states that this gum is fruit flavored. Artificially, of course. And on the back of the box, you see 4 pictures of a guy chewing the green bubblegum and blowing a bubble. In the first photo, the guy's chewing and it says, "Oh, it's just like any other bubblegum. This is you. Start chewing." Second picture, seconds later, "You've got a mouthful of green slime. What do you do? Don't swallow. Yuck." Third photo says, "Hurry, chew faster, faster, faster." Then the fourth photo is him blowing a bubble, and it says, "Our hero. All right, you did it. You defeated the green slime and chewed it back into bubblegum, where it belongs." And the coupon for this one was save 50 cents on any Tangle Twist toy from Nickelodeon. And last but not least, my favorite, the only one I got from this line as a kid, was Chewology Bubblegum Lab. And it's cherry-flavored bubblegum. On the front of the box, it has test tubes and all kinds of beakers and what have you, blowing a bubble, and there's a little window where you can see inside where the bubblegum gel mixture is. And it says how to do it. Mix it, goo it, then you chew it. On the back, there's 3 different illustrations. First illustration, it says mix it. You gotta squeeze the liquid candy side so it breaks the center seal and flows to the powder side. Then second illustration, it says goo it, squash it, squeeze it until it's one big gooey mess. Pull the center seal apart to make mixing easier. The third illustration says, then you chew it. Tear off the plastic at the narrow end of the pouch, squeeze out your Chewology creation, and enjoy. And the coupon on the back of the Chewology box was you get to save 50 cents on any one Smud or Speckled Smud Nickelodeon toy. I remember getting Chewology Bubblegum Lab at some gas station when I was a kid, and I begged my mom for it. I remember the bubblegum mixing and eating it, and it was just kind of grainy. It was really overhyped. The bubblegum itself wasn't really that good, but I really love this just because of the fact it was a fun thing to do as a kid. You get to make your own bubblegum. It's pretty sweet. Okay, so Ghostbusters, check. Nickelodeon, check. We have checked out the Ghostbusters and Nickelodeon novelty bubblegum lines from Amurol. So now it's time to shut this lid on this edition of Toy Box.
The 10 list.
Welcome everybody to the 10 list, where we take a look at 10 things and we keep it as simple as that. Today we are looking at the 10 weirdest bubblegum flavors ever. Number 10, bacon. Packaged in a red tin are red gumballs that taste like crispy pieces of bacon. Number 9, Thanksgiving flavors. Turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and pumpkin pie. If you don't want to cook or wait for November to celebrate Thanksgiving, try the Thanksgiving Gumball Pack out for size. Number 8, TV dinner. This gum came in a 3-pack of all your favorite TV dinner entree and sides with beef, corn, and apple cobbler flavored gum. Number 7, wasabi gumballs. If you love the powerful taste of wasabi, you can pick up a 22 count of green wasabi gumballs in a tin and enjoy. Number 6. In Japan, there's a gum called No Time Gum that has little granules in it that will scrub your teeth clean with a minty freshness as you chew. Number 5. Black Gum. In Japan, it's promoted as the Macho Man kind of gum, as these black sticks of gum have caffeine, niacin, and a really powerful licorice mint taste. Number 4. Pickle Gumballs. Get a pack of pickle-flavored gumballs, all green in a tin, and enjoy. Number 3. Ballpark Bubblegum. When you want a taste of being at the game, but too busy being somewhere else, pop in one of 3 flavors of Ballpark Gumballs to live the experience. All 3 flavors of hot dog, peanuts, and beer are packaged together in an old-fashioned baseball-styled tin. Number 2. Kettle Corn Bubblegum. Made by Project 7, it has all the salty and sweet you'd want in a package of 12 pieces of bubblegum. And number 1. Bust Up Gum. In Japan, this gum is claimed to make any woman who chews this gum to grow larger breasts. As the label of the gum says, extracts from the Pureria mirifica plant make a woman's breasts grow as well as improving their shape and tone. With its sweet taste of a rose and coolness of mint, this gum also has more health benefits for women who chew it 3 times a day. And that is your 10 list of the weirdest bubblegum flavors ever. If you want more of the 10 list, just keep it locked right here on IIWR. As this episode of Industrial Industries World Radio comes to a close, I hope you guys enjoyed this ride down memory lane with me, and we checked out a lot of neat gum stuff that you tried from your childhood and stuff that I tried from my childhood. If you have any ideas and things you would want me to take a deep dive into, don't be afraid. Don't be a stranger. Email me at industrialindustriesworldradio@gmail.com, and I just might take you up on your suggestion and do an episode on what you'd want to do. Did you have Slimer bubblegum? How did you like it? Go ahead, let me know. It's a rather obscure question to ask, but hey, I'm sending something out there. I also want to say this episode, it was inspired because I couldn't find, no one else has done any kind of deep dive or done the history on it, and I felt like it was worthy of doing. So I hope this is a nice, decent thing. I hope I did the company justice. I hope I did Amurol right with doing this. Did the best I could with research and trying to find every little piece of fact that I could find. And I truly am fascinated by the company, like I am fascinated by any other thing I do for an episode on this podcast. So if you worked for Amurol or you were one of the testers for them, I would love to hear from you, because that kind of stuff is just fascinating to me. So go on and hit me up, industrialindustriesworldradio@gmail.com. Also, there's a few video versions of the segments of this show on the YouTube channel for this podcast. So just search in YouTube Industrial Industries World Radio and you will find me measuring Bubbletape and showing off a few pieces of my Bubblegum collection. I'd like to thank Kimmy Pops for voiceover work and Giuliano for graphic design, and I also like to thank you for listening. This was episode 24 of Industrial Industries World Radio, and I am your host, DJ Glowing Ice. Wanted to wish you a very great rest of your day and a happy rest of your week. Stay safe out there, guys, and I will see you next week. Peace out.
See you next time on Industrial Industries World Radio.